welcome to Floppy Upcycle and other sewing challenges. I'm Jan, thank you for tuning in. Today's a bit of a mixed bag because I've got lots of bits and pieces to show you really. There's a couple that I neglected to show you, and I'm pretty sure I didn't tell you about, but there's a, first of all I'll tell you about it when I'm showing you on the video, but there's a top that I've been making over a few weeks, which I quite like, but when I put it on it was too tight around the bust. There's not much more I can do with it really, so I will be sadly putting it into the charity bag, which is obviously somewhere that I got it from to start with, but hopefully someone else will get to wear it. And then there's also another top which I shown on a previous video. If I can find the picture I'll put it in, but it was just like an A-line top that's always been very easy to wear, but it was one of my early tops, and I did make a few mistakes, like I made the armholes too big, which meant you could see my bra, and in the end I thought myself it was such a waste sitting there because it's such an easy to wear fabric because it literally drip and dry, so it's simple. So I basically cut the bottom off it and attached it to a t-shirt, so it's like a long peplum on a t-shirt. I've worn it a few times since, very comfortable, and as I say, very easy to wear, so I can slot those pictures in for you as well. But otherwise there is another top that I spoke about on a previous video that I'd recently got all my patterns out that I've quite fancied doing, but I needed to, once I got the patterns out, find in my stash some fabric that I could actually use to make those clothes with. One I've already done, and that was a blue dress which you've seen previously. In fact, I think I need to slot into this video where I had to make alterations on that as well. Other than that, yeah, I'll briefly show you what one I'm in the middle of, and then I can video that as I go along and show you that as well at some point. But at the moment I'm going to show you one of the tops. I found the fabric, I've cut it out. A few challenges was I didn't quite have enough fabric, but as far as I remember, I'll tell you all that in the video. So let's get on with it. Now on to my latest, the Fiona set. The yellow top on the left is the one I was aiming at, but I didn't quite have enough fabric, so I've just adapted basically. I think I shortened the sleeves a bit and I made the peplum shorter. Right, these are the pattern pieces I've got to sort of fit in. This is the dress and top bodice back. I've got to cut one pair of those, and then I've got two interfacings, the two facings back and front. Then I've got, this is the upper tier that I said I might have to shorten. We'll see how much fabric I've got. This is my sleeve. I made this once before, and I made it in a white linen, and I actually did have enough to put a fringe on the sleeve as well, but I'm not so sure that's going to happen this time. And this is the dress and top bodice front. So I'm going to now iron this fabric and see if I can fit it on somehow. Obviously the line that's on the pattern, this one, will need to follow the stripe, because that's a good guidance that I've got a stripe to go by, and then it won't go so squiggly. But wish me luck. Right, being a scrap of material, it wasn't exactly straight, so I've made sure I know where the edge is coming. I've made with my long ruler and my erasable pen, I've made a line to make sure I don't end up basically making an error and having a short piece of pattern. So that's where we've started. It's ironed and I'm now beginning to put the pieces on. As you can see, I'm squeezing it as best I can, but still trying to do the pattern as it needs, you know, the right way round. And that's how it looks on the front and on the back. I'm quite pleased with that. Hi. You probably remember in the video when I made this dress, I said I might try and take a photograph. I forgot. The body wise, it's fine. You can see I'm quite pleased with that. The lighting's not very good to show you here, but yeah, that way I'm fine. It's fine. But for some reason, I'm just going to move the camera around. This neck, for some reason, is gaping a little bit, and it's a bit wonky on my neck, and I don't really know why. Can't really show you properly. But, and I know the arms are, that's the trouble, I've got elephant arms. Decided what I'll do is the underarm seams, like I said to you, they're bigger seams, so I've got room to take them out. So I'm going to take them out to the minimum and re-stitch those. So I've got that. So I think the sleeves, once I've done that, should be fine. If they're not, I've got to adapt to my size, haven't I? I might cut little V's on the outside of the sleeve just to, again, give a bit more movement. But, I mean, overall, I'm really pleased with it because it's just my sort of dress. But the neck, I'm not quite sure. Even that, I'm thinking, could I just cut a V in it? Because it's exposed. It's just sticking out a bit there. I don't know if you can see properly. The lighting is awful. I can't tell you, but anyway, that is gaping a bit. Not quite sure what I can do about that. So yes, I've got to give that some thought. Bit of a terrible bit of filming this, trying to do it with my camera in one hand. But you can, anyway, you get the idea. It's overall, I'm pleased with the length. I'm pleased with the body fit. Pockets are lovely. So, yeah, so it's just the top half for some reason. So, right, I suppose I better get on and try and change it now. Right, I just mentioned in the video about the dress where I was saying it needs altering, that I was going to open up the seam on the arms because it's very snug. I've always had quite big arms, unfortunately. So it's always meant, that and my calves have always meant to be a problem when buying clothes. This is one advantage of actually making your own clothes, and you can adapt those things more. So I've got to undo the hem of the sleeves and seam rip the side seam or up the underarm. But when I was thinking of that, I thought for a bit more comfort, because it felt fine, but I just only thought about when I sat down, it was a little bit more snug. So I've decided to open up the side seams as well and do the same with them, so that will give me a couple of inches, a little bit more wiggle room if you like, as well. So it won't take long, just seam rip that and then just stitch up both sides. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, as they say. But while you're there, I just thought I'd quickly show you my next one I'm doing. It's like a peasant top. Can't really tell from there. But I've got 2 or 3 patterns that are very similar, and I have made a couple of peasant tops from different fabrics. This one, I've had this scarf sitting around for a long time. I can't remember if it was one I had, one it was given, whatever, but I love the colour. So I've decided to try and make this top in as a very lightweight top. It could be one that I could throw over my costume. It could be one that I'll put over a camisole that will coordinate with it, because it's lightweight. But I'm making it, the body, a double layer, possibly the sleeve as well, I think, but the facings and that will stay as the layers as they should be. But it could be, that's what my channel's about, challenges as well. But it's, yeah, I've doubled up, so the fabric is I've sort of doubled it over to cut. Got a little bit confusing, but so that it's not so see-through. But as I say, it's going to be very lightweight. It's going to be excellent for travel because it is so lightweight, and because it's got that crinkly look to it. It's going to be easy to just pull out of a bag and put on. So I'm a bit reluctant to show you myself sewing that because it's going to be a bit of a challenge. But I'm going to be taking photos. If I think there's a bit that you really need to know and learn from, which I hope you have to do with most of my stuff, then I will make a video just to tell you what my challenge was, basically, and how I got round it. But juggling that and editing at the moment, it's why it's a little bit bitty. I'm no professional, you know. But yeah, so watch this space for that. That's going to be another video, but I will finish off my alterations on the blue dress in this video. Another outfit, another day, or another stint in the sewing room. All the side seams are now detached. Seam ripped them all basically. So now I'm going to re-sew them all, obviously on my sewing machine. By the way, while you're there, Duncan, it's on my list, but Duncan got me one of these for Christmas. I did ask for a tailor's ham as well. I've been talking about making one for a while, but I've just not got round to making a tailor's ham. And when he read up, he said he thought this did the same thing. He's not a sewer, that's all I can say. But this is that's a hefty bit of kit, and I'm yet to use it, but it's supposed to be very good for making nice crisp seams and hems, and even these bits at the top apparently. So I'll be using. I'll probably have to YouTube it, won't I, to find out how to use it. But yeah, it's by Millward. So yeah, it's a bit of beach. Very hefty. So now I'm going to get on with the sewing. I think after this, the best thing to do is to then try it on, show you the difference it's made, hopefully, and yeah, then that'll be that dress done.